Now, this video is about 30 minutes long. I can already see the clock right now, what the time's at. It's about 30 minutes long, and we've covered a lot of stuff. But this 30 minutes of your time is nowhere close to the amount of time that you need to be prepared to invest into this journey. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to DevSlopes. This video is going to be jam-packed with a lot of information. We're going to be breaking down how you start programming from scratch, everything you need to know. If you're someone walking into programming, you have no idea what coding is, you never touched a line of code before, we're going to walk through exactly how you get from that to landing a paid job and what steps you need to take in order to get there. This video is going to be packed with chapters. You're going to learn everything you need to know in order to get you from where you are now to where you want to be. So let's dive in. So start programming from scratch. Now I'm just going to go ahead and run through this whole thing. By the way, I spent a lot of time making this and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share this with you guys. So, okay, let's face it. When you're starting out with coding, you have no idea what to do. Your questions you have are, what do I do? What do I learn? Where do I start? How do I code? What even is coding? What is this all about? I hear so much good things about it, but I hear it's so oversaturated, all of this stuff. What about AI, all that jazz? Stop. Let's just stop for a moment. I want you to follow everything in this. I want you to follow everything in this video step by step, because these are going to be the steps you have to take, and this is going to give you every piece of information you need in order to land a job. Okay, so first you need to ask yourself, do I even like coding? So you've probably heard about coding from like a friend, or maybe you have a buddy who's a software engineer and they talk about coding all the time, or maybe you watch, The Matrix and you see Neo hacking the Matrix and you're like, dude, I want to know how to code. That's great. That's awesome. But the question is do you even like coding? So before you do anything else, you need to try out coding. You need to try it out. And I don't mean just go and saying try it out isn't like go buy a course. No. It's literally just see if you even like what code looks like on a screen. So what I want you to do first, you're going to open up a YouTube video. You're going to open up a tutorial, you're going to follow it along, and you're going to ask yourself if you even liked it. And literally, that's all you have to do. You can literally type up programming build tutorial JavaScript, and you can find a cool little project. This guy created a card game. I saw one earlier of someone who created like a Mario game, and you just write out code. Because whenever you see this stuff on a screen here, whenever you see all of this on a screen, you're going to be like, okay. And it looks stressful right now, but you need to ask yourself, if you're the type of person who, while you're going along and building the tutorial and following the tutorial, if seeing this code on the screen is something that is even enjoyable to you, because believe it or not, a lot of the times people who are interested in learning how to code, they sign up for a course, they do all that, whatever, and they don't even finish it because the first chapter on the thing, they saw the code and they said, nope, this isn't for me, I don't like this is too much, and they gave up. And that's okay, and that's what you need to figure out right out of the gate. First things first, that's what you have to do. So a couple things to note about this. Number one, you're not going to learn anything from this tutorial. So I don't want you to expect to learn a lot. You're basically following along. You're just copying what he's doing, and you're seeing if the environment is something that you're interested in. Number two, do not develop this I can do this all by myself mindset. Because a lot of people, they'll follow this tutorial and they'll get trapped in what's called tutorial hell, and they'll watch an endless amount of tutorials thinking that, man, I'm a programmer. They think they're actually programmers, and then if I were to sit them down ahead of me and be like, hey man, I want you to build that without the tutorial, they're going to be like, yeah, I can do it. And then they're going to open up the code, they're going to see this again, and they're going to be like, oh crap. I guess I really didn't learn anything from this tutorial. So I don't want you to expect to learn anything, and I don't want you to develop this mentality of like, I can do this all by myself. I just watch these tutorials and I'm going to be good to go, because that's not how it works. The last thing is, did you really like it? Did you really like it? If you did like it, if you didn't like it, then sorry, see you later. I'm spocking you out of here. Goodbye, old friend. If you did like it, then awesome, this is great, but life is about to get serious, okay? You need to understand a few things before you just decide that I'm going to be a developer, right? Because you need to first ask yourself, what do I want to do with coding? What do I want to do with coding? Do I want to be someone who, makes a career transition? Maybe you're working at a job that you're not too satisfied with what you're doing, and you're like, okay, I want to work a job that makes me happy now. Okay, coding's a great opportunity for that. Or maybe you're just someone who like, you know what, I had this side project I wanted to work on for like an app idea. I want to just learn how to do that. That's fine too. That's the cool thing about programming, is either or. If you want to be a hobbyist, if you want to be a pro developer, if you want to just go out and get an easy job that, you know, you get to work from home, whatever you want to do, programming gives you that opportunity. But you need to first ask yourself, what do I want to do? So once you get that in mind, you're going to need a path. You're going to need a learning structure, which we're going to dive to in a moment, and you're going to need more than just coding skills. And that last point there is key. So be sure to stay till the end of the video, because that's going to be one of the most important parts of the video. So your path. So I already made a video. I made a YouTube video about this. You know, you have a lot of different paths out there. You have web development, iOS, Android, machine learning, game development, artificial intelligence, so much more. I made an entire YouTube video about this. I'm going to drop the link down below. Also, it should pop up in the corner, something like that. And if you're interested in the paths and what consists of the paths, by all means, check out that video. It's super helpful, and these two kind of go hand in hand with each other. So let's say you want to go web development. And the reason I picked web development, because if you watch that video, you're going to understand that web development as a new developer is probably the best option. And if I'm you, this is stepping, by the way, we teach web development at DevSlopes Academy, but I'm going to step out of DevSlopes Academy as an example and just talk to you like I'm your friend. Web development is the best path because it's the easiest barrier of entry to getting a job. Because it's the easiest learning, it's not a steep learning curve. You can learn web development a lot easier than you can learn all of the other paths I just mentioned. The salary is great if you're looking to get a job, and it's much more in demand. So the job market is there. The job market for web development is there, and it's a lot easier to get those jobs. And lastly, the lifestyle, if you're looking to, you know, work from home and things along those lines, it's also all good there. So that's why we're going to go through web development throughout the rest of this. Now, back to the video. Okay, so web development. Now we understand, okay, we have a path. We know what we want to do. Now it's about finding a learning structure. Now, there's 4 different paths, and these are kind of the most popular ones. You know, we have college, we have boot camps, we have the self-taught route, and we have online academies. Now, we're going to go into college, number 1. Now, the thing about college, and I'm not here to preach college. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of college in programming. I'm going to tell you why you might want to avoid college in programming. Number 1, college is freaking expensive. It's freaking expensive. A lot of people who go in for computer science majors, they end up in like 60 to 80K in debt. And that's a freak ton of money to end up in debt. So college can be extremely, extremely hard. The second thing with college is a lot of the stuff is outdated. So it's like you're paying $60,000 for an outdated curriculum. And that's insane to me. This is like the one thing, if they changed this and made college very up to date, you know, they kept up with the industry trends, they kept up with what employers are actually looking for, that would be perfect. Now, with that being said, there are some benefits to college, you know, you get networking and things like that, but overall, from what we've seen, you know, at DevSlopes Academy, we've had tons of students legit come to DevSlopes Academy saying, I went to college, but I didn't learn anything to go out and get a job. They say, I don't know JavaScript or React, or they didn't teach any of that. They taught us Java, a little bit of Java and a little bit of C++. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's awesome, but you weren't really able to use that. And so they'll literally come to DevSlopes Academy saying, hey, I went to college, but they didn't teach me what I need to know to get a job. So that's the reason with college, you know, and there are other benefits to college. So like if you want to go through the artificial intelligence route, you are going to want to, you know, go and take some data courses with college and things like that. So there's benefits there. You know, you need a lot of math when it comes to AI and stuff like that. And that's stuff you're going to have to go to college for. So don't get me wrong. If college is coherent with the path that you're looking to go down, by all means, go down that path. But majority of the time, from what we've seen, if you're someone who's like, man, I just want to make a career change, I don't really want to, you know, work with all that stuff. I'm not even good at math. I just want to make a career change. I just want a better life. You don't need to go to college for that because you don't want to walk out with $60,000 in debt. Now, boot camps, on the other hand, boot camps are great. They're in person. I also wouldn't recommend boot camps. And like I said, guys, we're DevSlopes Academy. We teach people how to code. Obviously, I'm going to be more biased towards online academies, which we're going to get to in a second. But I'm going to also tell you the pros about boot camps. So number 1, pro about boot camp, it's in person. A lot of people, they learn a lot better in person. You know, you go somewhere and you sit down and you're actually learning. You know, you're kind of like back in high school again or back in college again, if that's you. And you're learning again. And you're learning, you got an instructor, he's teaching you the concepts and things like that. And that's great. That's awesome. Like by all means, if that's you and if that's how you like to learn, like I'm not gonna push that down your throat that you shouldn't. But there is some caveats to boot camps. Once again, they're going to be like, $30,000 to $40,000. You know what I mean? Boot camps are expensive, and they have financial agreements. They have income share agreements to where, you pay a percentage of your monthly salary after you finish the boot camp. And if that's something you're interested in, that's fine. But you also have to understand, boot camps are very fast paced. They usually last 4 to 6 months, which is not a lot of time. Not a lot of time. We tell people all the time, hey, it's going to take 16 to 24 months to learn how to code. And boot camps, they have to shove a lot of information down your throat to get you, in par with what the curriculum is asking for and with what you need. So it's going to be a lot of information at once. You're going to be it's going to be really frantic. And if you're someone who has a family and has a life outside of, code, then it's going to be even harder. You know what I mean? Because then, if a boot camp is not next to you or not in the current vicinity of where you're living, you're probably going to have to move. You might have to leave your family for a couple months and, stay at where the boot camp is and things like that. And that can be a lot overwhelming for people, of course. So usually boot camps, we don't like to preach them that much because they not fit with everyone. While they do fit with some people, and if you're that person, that's awesome. That's when I will say, yeah, boot camp, yeah, fine. If you want to do a boot camp, if you think, hey, I know for a fact, I cannot learn online and I have to be somewhere in person, by all means, I'm not going to tell you otherwise. But just understand that there are going to be some cons to that. Next, we have the self-taught route. Now, this one, I'm just going to tell you right now. If you're looking to take programming seriously, the self-taught route is incredibly difficult. I'm not going to be that guy and say that it can be done because there's so many people that do it. There's so many people on YouTube that preach hey, you can learn to code all by yourself. Buy my course. You can learn how to code just with that course. That's fine. You know what I mean? But the reality is it doesn't work that way for a lot of people. Let's be realistic. I'm going to be realistic with myself. I cannot self-teach myself code. It wasn't going to happen. It's not going to happen. I train jiu-jitsu right now. And if I just sat down and said, you know what, I'm going to teach myself jiu-jitsu, that is it. That's laughable. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. I'm not going to sit home and watch a couple YouTube videos and then get on the floor and start rolling around on the ground and practicing. It doesn't work that way. I need to go to a place and actually, practice jiu-jitsu, or I can't just do the self-taught route. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for a lot of people. Now, if you're don't get me wrong, dude, there's this David Goggins type people who can go out and they can learn these skills all by themselves. And, they sit down and they dedicate, the hours and hours and hours, and they're very disciplined. That's great. But also, those people, 90% of the time, they don't have a lot of things going on with their life that makes them able to do that. You know what I mean? A lot of people have families. You know what I mean? It's a lot harder whenever you have, mouths to feed, whenever you have job to take care of, whenever you have to provide and actually, do something instead of just sit at home all day and freaking grind out code. This is my whole life. Dude, not everyone is 21 years old living out of mom and dad's paycheck in the basement grinding out code. It's not realistic. You know what I mean? Not all of us got daddy's money to where we can go out and just learn how to code all by ourselves and, have the freedom of not having to pay bills or anything like that. And don't get me wrong, there's people who do that on top of their lives. And if you're that type of person, if you say, you know what, I learned X before, by all means, you can go down the self-taught route. You can. There's paths for that. You can take courses. You can, find things online to help you learn. But I'm speaking to majority. I'm trying to keep this as broad as possible. If you're someone who's man, I cannot do that by myself. Like me, I can't do a lot of things on my own. I like to go and, actually get that kind of mentorship and stuff like that. Then you need something different. The self-taught route is not going to work for you. And it's not going to work for a lot of people. So don't feel left out. Don't feel like that means that you suck and you're not disciplined. Dude, it's not going to happen. For me, even, it's not going to happen. So then we have online academies. And like I said, DevSlopes is an online academy. I'm not going to really talk about DevSlopes as much, you know what I mean? And because I am biased, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you DevSlopes is the best place you should learn how to code because I know it's the best place you should learn how to code. But at the same time, I understand, not a lot of people want to come and hear about DevSlopes and hear about, the online academy. A lot of people just want to come and hear about freaking what do you do to code? So the thing with online academies is they are remote. You know what I mean? They are remote. You can do it from home. You don't have to go to an in-person thing. They're a lot cheaper. They're a lot cheaper than boot camps. Like I said, boot camps, college, they can be in like $20 to $60 to $80,000 ranges. It's gonna be super expensive with that. So online academies are a lot cheaper option. You get that mentorship. You get that mentorship just like you would a boot camp and just like you would a college. You get that mentorship. A lot of the times with the online academies, they are very up to date. They're very up to date. You're going to learn things that are industry standard. And what we've seen, not just with us, but with other places, is they last longer. Academies last longer. So like I said, boot camps, they kind of have to flush people in and out, right? Because they're trying to get the next cohort in. Online academies, they last a lot longer. You know what I mean? You're going to be in the academy for like 12 to 16 to 24 months. You can be in the academy. Yeah, literally, you can be in the academy that long. And that's awesome. That's awesome. That's exciting. Because it gives you the time that it actually takes to learn how to code. Because I'm telling you right now, everyone on YouTube with these 3-month to learn how to code videos is driving me crazy because it's just not how it works. So legit, online academies are awesome because of this. So once you have your learning structure in mind, like I said, you can pick any one of these 4 paths. College is a little bit different because they're going to get you like, you just have to do what they tell you to do, essentially. But any one of these paths, whatever path you decide to take, that's up to you. Once you have that learning structure taken away, now we have to talk about career training. Now, career training, I told you guys at the beginning of this video, this is going to be one of the most important parts, so pay very close attention because we're coming kind of close to a wrap here. Coding is more than just the technical skills, especially in 2024. This is legit. With all the students we've seen at DevSlopes Academy, we have come to the realization, and we did about, I would say 2-3 years ago, that coding is not just about technical skills. It is not just about technical skills. If you're wanting to get a job in programming, you need a specific set of career training. And it's funny because I look back to all of the things we were taught in school. They told us you need to learn how to communicate. You need teamwork. You need responsibility. Yeah, apparently all that stuff in elementary school actually matters in the real world, especially when it comes to programming. See, the days of the nomad lone wolf programmer is over. It is gone. There is no more lone wolfing when it comes to programming. Employers are looking for programmers, especially with AI. By the way, with AI, this is what they're looking for. They're looking for programmers who have experience in the field. Not only that, they are looking for programmers who can work well within their team and who can work well within the business as a whole, who align with the company's values. And yes, I know it sounds like, but this is legit. This is legit. They're looking for people who can work well within a team, which means if you're like myself, like I know I'm in front of a camera right now, I'm going to be honest, I'm a total introvert. The only, I am by myself. There's no social setting other than the fact that I am talking to a camera right now. I am an introvert. If you see me out in public, you're going to get a very, you know what I mean? But right now I feel, comfortable in front of the camera, so it's easy for me to do this. But total introvert. And that's the majority of everyone that's probably watching this video right now is we are not the most public. We are not the most outgoing. We are not the most, what's up, everybody? Life of the party. We like to code. We don't like to socialize. We like the idea of being at home, be kind of like home sitters and just coding, going at our own flow, wearing our PJs. Things like that. And that is the life we want. You know what I mean? And when it comes to the job that you're trying to get, you have to understand that learning communication skills, even if it means knowing how to communicate professionally within a meeting, this is important. And this is actually the kind of stuff that will get you hired. And communication skills, this doesn't just apply with speaking. Like how I'm speaking now. This applies with communication within your code itself. How are you writing code that can work within your team? How are you writing code to where, not only you can handle it, but your team can manage it and things along those lines. That way, if you're sick and you have to take 5 days off, your team member can go into your code and say, okay, he did this, this, and this. This is where he left off. This is what we need to do. Okay, perfect. Believe it or not a lot of people can do this. And this is the differentiator between someone who's going to get hired as a programmer and someone who's going to fail as a programmer. So communication skills matter. Teamwork skills, they matter. You need to be able to work with Sorry about that. You need to be able to work well within a team. You need to be able to work well within a team because teamwork makes the dream. I don't know. All I know is you need to be able to work well within a team because employers are not looking for lone wolf developers. Like I said, AI is emerging. AI is making a lot of tasks easier. You know what I mean? We're seeing a lot of repetitive tasks being made much more simpler by AI. Now, gosh, I don't want to get into the whole debacle like, oh, they're going to take my job. They're not. AI is not going to take your job. It's a tool. You need developers. You need the creative aspect of a human brain. AI does not have that ability. So anyway, before we go further, I don't want to get into the whole AI thing, but teamwork matters. You need to be able to work within a team because this is what employers are looking for. And of course, you need to have responsibility. Come on. Like we know this. Like it's as simple as if you're asked to do something and to have it done by Friday, even if you have to do it on Thursday the night before, just get it done. You know what I mean? You need to be able to hold yourself accountable to those kind of things. And then lastly, you need a portfolio. And we're going to talk about portfolio because this is going to be the next part that matters so much is your portfolio. So what makes your portfolio unique? You have so many people, and this is the whole thing with people talking about, the market's so oversaturated. There's so many programmers out there. Okay, whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of people that want to become job programmers. There's a lot of people who want jobs as programmers. So what? There's a lot of people who want job as nurses. There's a lot of people who want job as teachers. There's a lot of people who want jobs in general. Okay, this is just the way the world works. Now, what makes your portfolio unique? And everybody says this, every guru says this, but I'm going to tell you exactly how we do this. We do this at DevSlopes, okay? Literally, this is a required part of our curriculum. We give it to the students. We say, you have to do this. You have to do this in order for us to push you along the curriculum, in order for us to get you to where you can get a job. So what makes your portfolio unique? Freelancing. Freelancing is game changer. If you don't know what freelancing is basically what photographers do. You know, if you're like, man, I want to photo shoot and make myself look cool for my Instagram. You literally go to a photographer and you say, hey, I'm going to pay you, and he says, hey, I charge $150. And yeah, or the photographer comes to you and says, hey, I'm going to charge you $150, and you're like, okay, perfect. That's what you got to do. So when it comes to programming, there's sites, Upwork, freelancer.com, all these things. And we teach all this stuff at DevSlopes Academy, how we teach you freelance training on top of technical skills, on top of career development skills. But I'm going to get to that in a second. Freelancing. Number one, what is this going to do? So these do not need to be huge projects. We're not asking you to go out and land $1,500 retainer projects that are going to blow everyone away and these huge, monthly projects that you have to maintain. No, we're not asking you to do that. Freelance projects. They're going to help you stand out from the crowd of developers because what are employers looking for? They're looking for people with experience. And what if you had real world work experience? There's a little bit of tongue twister there. Real world work experience. This is going to get you where you want to be. This is going to bridge the gap. We call this the professional gap. And it's basically, you need a job to get the experience, but you need experience to get the job. How do you bridge that? That's a paradox. It doesn't make any sense. You do that by having real world work experience. And how can you get that? The easiest way possible, freelancing. And like I said, these don't need to be huge projects. You can find a mom and pop shop who wants a website that does DoorDash, and you can go build that with just 4 months of training, and you can make an easy $300 to $400 off of that project. Guys, I can't explain how game-changing this is. This is huge. This is how you get a job as a programmer in 2024. This is the golden nugget. This is what made DevSlopes what it is. This is what made DevSlopes is earn while you learn, all of these things, because you're actually making money while learning how to code. Now, I'm not going to get a whole into that in a second, but you're going to stand out from the crowd of developers. And this is what is going to get you to the next level. And the next, you have interview training. Why does this matter? Because you need to be able to ace the technical interview, and you need to be able to ace the personal interview. The personal interview comes down to what we said earlier: communication, teamwork, responsibility. You need to be able to present yourself in a professional manner. The technical interview is going to be your coding skills, which, if you followed your path correctly, you're going to match every single skill that they are looking for when it comes to technical skills. Now, whoa, that's a lot of information. This is a video that you're probably going to have to watch more than once. Go back to the chapters, check things out, have a solid understanding. Remember, it all starts with seeing if you even like coding. Searching up a tutorial and seeing if coding is even something you enjoy. That's where it all is going to start. Now, what does this mean, though? What does this mean? What does this mean? It means you're going to land the job. If you've done this entire path, you're going to land the job. We talked about, where to start. You know what I mean? You need to see if coding's even for you. Then you need to pick a path. Then you need to, and within that path, there's languages that you're going to learn. So this whole time you're learning these languages, you're going along this path. Then you need to pick a learning structure. Whatever structure you choose to do, that is completely up to you. I've listed out some of the pros and cons of different structures. I'm probably going to make a video that breaks things down even more in depth. But it's all dependent on what is more fitting for you. Then you're going to need to build a portfolio. Before we get there. Then you're going to need career training. You're going to need your career training because, like we said, and this is a motto you want to keep in your head while you go through this journey, coding is not just about the technical skills, okay? So you're going to need your career training. Then you're going to need your portfolio. What makes this portfolio stand out compared to the pool of developers that everyone is so worried about? The answer to that, freelancing. Freelancing, getting real-world work experience. Real-world work experience. Yeah, I'm getting faster at it. Okay, once you have that, you're going to prep for the interview. Technical interview, personal interview. If you've done all of these things, you're going to go from someone who knows nothing about coding to landing a job. Now, this video is about 30 minutes long. I can already see the clock right now, what the time's at. It's about 30 minutes long, and we've covered a lot of stuff. But this 30 minutes of your time is nowhere close to the amount of time that you need to be prepared to invest into this journey. Now, like I said, whenever you finish and you finish that first ever tutorial and you looked at everything and you said, okay, this is what I want to do, things are going to get serious. Coding is going to get serious. And that means you need to be 100% prepared to invest the time necessary to land a job as a programmer. That means that everything that you do from that moment where you said, I'm going to do this, to the point of you landing a job, it is going to be filled with the obstacles, with the challenges, and with the freaking tears, blood, and sweat that is required to go out and land a job. But if you do everything the appropriate way, and if you make your life a lot easier by finding mentorship with one of the paths that you pick, that's why I don't recommend the self-taught route, then you will be good. You're going to be set. Because the benefits of learning how to code, you get a future-proof career. That means a career that isn't going to go anywhere. Really, software developers are always going to be needed. I mean, look at what happened with the freaking Microsoft computers. I'm going to let you right now, that was a programmer's error. We need people to be able to fix things like that. And software development is not going anywhere anytime soon. I made a whole thing about coding jobs, the demand, and all those things like that. I made a whole YouTube video about it. I spent like 6 hours researching stuff on it. It's a great video, and it breaks down just the fact that programming is not going anywhere. So this career is future-proof. This career is as stable as nurses, as stable as teachers. The projected outlook is going, I think it's about 3 times the amount of what the normal jobs are. 3 times the amount. That means it is in demand. Not only that, you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to make a lot of money as a developer. You're going to make great money as a developer. Starting salaries, set at $75,000 to $120,000. $75,000 to $120,000. Like I said, it's dependent on your path. It can go a lot higher. The ladder is very high. Netflix hires software engineers for like $450,000 a year. $450,000 a year. And look, I'm not trying to float numbers your way to get you all hyped up, because it starts with the basics, man. It starts with the basics. And you're not going to get there until you knock out the basics. And so, like I said, this is going to be hard to do on your own. This is going to be extremely hard to do on your own. This is something that is going to be probably one of the hardest career transitions in your life. It's going to be the most rewarding, but it's going to be incredibly, incredibly difficult. So, guys, that is a wrap for this video. This was extremely long. I want to make more videos like this because, we're trying to spend a lot more time on the videos and giving you guys the real details of what it takes to, go out and learn how to code and what's happening within the industry and things along those lines. So I'm trying to spend a lot more time on these videos to show you what you need to do. We make a lot of funny skits. We make a lot of funny stuff, on our Instagram, on our TikTok, on our YouTube, and things like that. And that's all fun and games too. We love to be able to entertain you guys and show you guys, the funny stuff and the fun stuff about programming and what programming has to offer. We want you to be able to part of those inside jokes and things like that. But the reality is we're an education school. We're an education school, and we want to be able to show you guys what it takes to go out and get a job as software engineers, because our ultimate goal is to help people. We're not just here to make you laugh, because God, we love doing that. And I wish that's all life was about sometimes, but that's not why we're here. We're here to show you how to go from someone who knows nothing about code to landing a job as a developer in 2024. Guys, that is a wrap for this video. Stay tuned for more videos just like this one. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Comment down below what you want to see more of. Comment down below your thoughts, and first and foremost, watch that tutorial, see if coding is for you. When you finish it, come back to this video, comment down below how you liked it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Jake the Programmer, peace.